A good day, night, and otherwise to all of my Mexican, Negron, Cajun, Asian, Indian, Latins out there. Yeah. It's your boy Juggy Fresh, and we got a lot of stuff prepared for y'all today. Slightly subdued because today is Sunday. You're listening to the Book of Juggulations, exclusively heard on Son of Prince Radio Networks. My name is Juggy Fresh, and my producer, Lucky Lex, is kind enough to join us on another excursion to the deep, unknown, dusty chapters in the Juggulations book. First thing first, shout out to my longtime compadre, GarrettPace. What's up, bro? How you doing? Haven't seen in a long time. Thank God for Facebook. You follow on Twitter, GarrettPace, GarrettT Pace, at GarrettPace591. Just to let you guys know, this guy has some really unbeknownst talent, you know what I'm saying, as far as music and making beats and things like that. As you could tell by the intro, his music is quite nice. And I would like to tell you guys out there that we have some hundreds of songs now in our archives. Special thanks to my friend Daniel Phillips. I think this guy probably sent me, I don't know, probably 400 or 500 songs. You know, he supplied me more songs than the Colombian drug cartel supplies the United States with cocaine, but that might not be something I should talk about. I don't want anybody to come and shoot me. I don't think I'm that important yet, but just in case they do, I'm just going to cut that off right now. Also, last time, I said I was on the air. I said I was going to have Olisa /Wisdom on the air. We're still going to do that interview. Again, schedules running into each other, that's a big issue. He's doing his thing out there, but I want to tell you something. If you went to the Miss Haiti pageant back on November 3rd, oh my Lord, let me tell you how my boy Olisa and my close constituent, a romantic man, once said, when I tell you they broke it down at the Miss Haiti pageant on stage with the Straight from the Motherland Entertainment, and I'm going to put up a video of that probably next couple days. They had the girls having orgasms in their seats. They had their hair did, nice clothes, all the nice perfumes on. But when they start doing the dance, when the group started doing that dance and they had those solo performances within that dance, I can't even describe to you how good that event was. You guys know that there are a lot of things to talk about. I have interviews coming up in the near future. Krissy Johnson, what's going on, man? How you doing? We're going to be interviewing her. If you check out her website, hertopic.com, you will find out specifically for the ladies, there are a lot of good things on that website. Fashion, opinion. I think this is a blog that is a great alternative to reading magazines like Vogue and Cosmopolitan and some of the other things you find on the aisle when you go check out your groceries at the store or whatnot. This is a great alternative that you guys should definitely check that out. Also, you can follow her on Twitter, Krissy Johnson, KrissyJ Johnson, at OfficialKrissyJ, and it's hers. For her avatar, she has a text window of her topic as her avatar, so you guys should definitely check her website. Specifically to my ladies out there, I also said last time we were on the air, Lex, we're supposed to be doing a project with the ladies. Now, I don't know, I haven't got a lot of feedback on this. I guess I'm going to have to go to USF. I guess I'm going to have to go out in the streets in different apartments and neighborhoods and do an official grassroots campaign, since it appears that the ladies are a bit shy when it comes to being on the camera.
Well, there is no camera to be on, so.
Well, not on the radio show, but for the video project, as we know, there will be a little bit of video with that. So, ladies, You already know the information at the bottom. If you guys want to get in contact with me, please do so. Now, as most Americans know by now, Hurricane Sandy, it's already out of the news. Can you believe this, Lex? It was all over the news. It's the only thing that they were talking about, prior to the election. But all of a sudden, it's no longer a topic of conversation. And, according to the Examiner.com, Sandy destroyed half of the east coast of the United States. While it's not the strongest, and it has become the hurricane that has caused the most damage and the most power outage of all time within the United States continental U.S. borderland. Okay? Some 7.5 million without power in the Mid-Atlantic region, upwards of $50 billion, and obviously, as you might guess, New York City is eating up $12 billion of that. Okay, so I don't know how they're going to fix this. I don't know what the verdict is. I'm not up there. I can't go up there. If I had enough money to give to every family, as I said last time, I would give them $1 million apiece. But the fact of the matter is I can barely give myself a few $1,000s. So right now, in that sense, I have to worry about myself. But, we hear Book of Juggulations. We salute all those families that are going through this trying time, the students, the families, the disabled, the elderly who aren't able to provide for themselves at this time. We feel for you. Plus, they got blizzards and ice storms and all that besides the hurricanes. So this is definitely, I've heard this hurricane has murdered over 80 people. Very sad time. See, what I'm saying? You listen to the major news networks, they're not going to be still talking about Hurricane Sandy. They finished making their money off of that. But I understand that for a lot of people in this country, it's still a huge issue. Now, as everyone already knows, the entire nation was pretty much split 50-50 when it came to the presidential election. As sadly is the case, once again, race, that is to say the ethnicity of the different people that live within this country, has once again, it has played a huge part in who is elected president. In general, African Americans have voted for Obama. In general, there are white constituents voting for Romney. However, I would like to point a couple things out. Unless Obama got a considerable amount of the quote-unquote white vote, he would not become president. So what does that mean, Lex? That means that about 30%, or at least 30% of the white vote had to go to Obama in order for him to become president. So in that sense, I say I am very proud of my country because we have come a long way. There's still a long ways to go in many aspects, apparently. If it wasn't a challenge, if there weren't any problems, what would be the point? There would be no point of being president. If everything was already solved, if everything was perfect, there would be no point. There would be no challenge to life itself. But to me, race is still a huge issue. Now, after the results of the election, the New York Times editorial on Thursday, November 8th, they had an article, I think it was page 820, that stated the Republican agenda was a failing playbook written by and for a dwindling population of angry white men. Now, before you say, oh, here goes Juggy again, here goes Juggy Fresh again, just talking about race this and race that. Okay, I'm saying? It's an important topic. And let me tell you why, what my point is in bringing this topic up. I'm going to tell you exactly why I brought this up. In this particular case, Romney, Willard, your boy Willard, Mitt Romney, his real first name is Willard. I know they talk about African Americans and their weird names that they give their children, how primitive they are. But Willard? We could talk about that all day. Isn't it amazing that Mr. Willard Romney didn't use his first name when he was running as a presidential elect?
Maybe he just likes being called.
It's very interesting that, people say, oh, with that name, you're never going to break into corporate America. You're never going to break into the business world. You're never going to get far with a name like, such an African American name. I won't go into rattling them off. Everybody knows what they are. But Mr. Romney himself, he couldn't even use his first name when he was running for president. I guess they determined that Willard was just too much of a rich name to use for the presidential. I just thought I would throw that out there for you guys to think about. Just something for you guys to chew on. Okay? As I was saying before I went off on my horrible tangent, which I so often do, Romney alienated the Hispanic population. According to the exit polls from the election, only 27% of the Hispanic population voted for Mitt Romney, as compared to the last time a Republican candidate was in office, George W. Bush, obviously, it was 44%. And a lot of people, a lot of political pundits, a lot of people who follow politics, the reason why was because not only did he talk about self-deportation back to Mexico specifically, when obviously there are many other Latin countries besides this, but I guess since it's the border, for him it was an issue. He also talked about using Arizona as a model for immigration reform. As we all know, if you follow the news in any capacity the last year or so, Arizona has been a huge site for immigration law, immigration reform, the extent that the government is allowed to intrude in people's life, even though they are proven to be American citizens in most cases. Okay? But of course, as usually is the case, the one who was not supposed to win has won. As we all know, our president is black. Once again, he's been reelected. He's back in office. Willard Romney, you've been ousted. And as the president has been elected for a second term, for better or for worse, I'd say to the Romney supporters, I feel your pain. I feel where you're coming from. Believe it or not, once in his life, Juggy Fresh was also a Republican. I am not now a Democrat, but I am an independent because I believe there are many flaws and many loopholes on both sides of the major political parties that I cannot be a part of, so I decided to go independent. But let me tell you why I'm not going to be a Republican anymore, or why I stopped being a Republican. Being a Republican in general means that, they always say you have to work hard for what you get. You have to put in the effort. But that always assumes that you have the materials, the family background, and the finances to do all the things that you need to do. 80 to 85% of the people in this country simply don't have those resources. They don't both have a mom and a dad. They don't have a stable diet. They don't have a good public school to go to, or even a good private school. That was one of the main reasons why I could no longer be a Republican. And as far as being a Democrat, people always say, well, Democrats, they just want to give handouts. Democrats, they want big government. It's not all about that. Democrats just want to help the people that can't really help themselves. And not like President Obama says, he believes in giving everybody a fair chance. He didn't say he would fix everything. He didn't say that everybody would get everything that they wanted. We know that that's not true. But he wants everybody to at least have a fair shake. Do you always get a fair shake? You guys email me, bookofjugulation@gmail.com if you have any stories that you'd like me to put on air the next time. Do you believe that it's fair? The public school system, the state university system here in Florida, we're near, obviously, University of South Florida. Go Bulls, I'm an alumni. Lucky Lex, he attends there. Is it fair? Is the system fair? Some people believe it is. Some people believe that isn't. Now, we're going to move on a little bit in our topics here. This is a time when I wish, that I had live streaming, because today is Veteran Day in the United States of America. I'm grateful and thankful at the bottom of my heart to all those that willingly gave their lives as a sacrifice to the more practical ideas of the United States, because honestly, not all armed forces stories end in a bad way, but over the history of our country, too many actually have. While it is definitely true that there's a war being fought in many places on the homeland soil, Lex, I don't think any of us could handle the type of war like violence present in many countries around the world where our troops are stationed. What do you think about Veterans Day overall, Lex?
Well, I think it's a great day to honor those people who you don't usually think about in your day-to-day lives. It's really quiet, but alright, make it work. It kind of it should bring people, to recognize veterans in and of themselves and all the sacrifices and, all the commitment they put to their country, and people should respect them a little bit more than they usually do. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't see many people go out there and do anything for veterans in general. But
yeah, it's a known statistic that a lot of the homeless population in the U.S. is comprised of veterans, and that's very sad. They come over, a lot of them are mentally unstable because of the trauma that they went through in war. A lot of them simply aren't in the mind state anymore, the mental mind state of the way business works in the United States. They're used to taking orders and killing somebody.
Right.
And to the veterans out there, I'm grateful. I wouldn't be able to have this podcast. Few people would be able to do any of the things they do if somebody wasn't out there dodging bullets. We say it's hard over here. We say the economy is bad. We say we can't get the things we want. We say this and that, and we complain. But those veterans, they do things that help us pretty much, what do they call it, first world problems?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have first world problems than the so-called third world problems. Now, today's the 11th. Right around the corner is Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, yesterday I was watching those flaky, hard to figure out Christmas commercials. And I don't have a 1080p LED or LCD TV screen, but I saw them nonetheless. It just made me wonder, will you guys shop for your family this year? Does it matter? Do you even celebrate Thanksgiving in an increasingly unchristian-like society? How much will the major U.S. holidays continue to affect our country? Now, for me personally, Thanksgiving and Christmas means a lot, coming from a conservative Christian background that I truly value and appreciate in the deepest sense. But not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not everybody is able to receive gifts on Christmas. Not everybody has a huge feast like they show in the Publix commercials on Thanksgiving with, the turkeys, the ducks, the stuffing, the macaroni, the greens, the pies, the cakes. The works, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because this is the time of year where only a few individuals, the rest of the year they're like Uncle Scrooge. But somehow during this time of year, they suddenly become very benevolent. They suddenly become very charitable. They suddenly become very nice. They suddenly say, oh, I need to give to the Red Cross. Oh, let me volunteer at the homeless shelter. Where is this attitude the other 11 months out of the year?
That's a great point. I wish every human being was like that, all the time, just selfless thoughts. But it's kind of sad. We humans are just kind of inherently selfish, and it takes something like Christmas or Thanksgiving, something to remind us that we have other people that we live with that we should do good things for. And so that's why you see more of this benevolence and charity during this time of year, as opposed to year round.
Now, as a general PSA, you know what I'm saying, a public service announcement, I'd like to remind everybody out there, particularly the females, now is the time to get your supply of Juggy Juice. Winter is upon us. Even in the sunny, beautiful greater Tampa Bay area, I implore you, you need to warm up during this cold winter, these 50s and these 40s degree weather. Get your supply of Juggy Juice. If you don't have your supply of Juggy Juice, I seriously implore you to come and get those. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't get it, you're not going to get all the vitamins, nutrients, materials that you need to have to survive until what, February, March, when it starts warming back up again.
What does that even mean?
Listen, those who have had the Juggy Juice understand that it is a necessary part of life during winter. And I just want to tell you guys, you need to get some. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Again, I would like to remind you guys that, to continue listening to the show. Thank you everybody for listening. Once again, if you would like to be on the show, if you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to email me, bookofjugulation@gmail.com. You got songs you want to play, let me know. You got somebody you want me to interview, let me know. I'll be willing to do it. So for my producer, Lucky Lex, and myself, Juggy Fresh, I will see you guys next week. If at first you don't succeed, don't take any nickels. Give up and try something else. Have a good day, world. Niggas see me disappear like a genie, you ain't got to believe it. Laying on the beach, sipping purple to hit it. I feel like I'm dreaming, styrofoam got me leaning. I ain't worried about what a hater gotta say. Do this here for the natural state. My money adding up, gotta calculate. You can expect me about an hour late, cause you know I sit that drain. I ride slow when I make my money, baby. Yeah, I get that cash and I be stacking. If you want that flicks, I'm like, what's happening? You know I sit that drain. I ride slow when I make my money, baby. Yeah, I get that cash and I be stacking. If you want that flicks, I'm like, what's happening? You know I sip that drink. I ride slow when I make my money, baby. Yeah, I get that cash and I be stacking. If you want that flex, I'm like, what's happening?